Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about the importance of Mississippi River to the United States and why we should preserve it. My main topics are its location, its history, how it became important, what we use it for nowadays, and ways to preserve it. First, it's the largest system river in the North America and it's more than 2,300 miles long. It begins at Lake Itasca, Minnesota, and ends in New Orleans, Louisiana, where it begins to flow into the Gulf of Mexico. Its major tributary is Missouri River, and they both drain 31 US states. Well, the first people who settled into the Mississippi Valley were the Native Americans, and some tribes were the Cheyenne, Sioux, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi. The name of the river was given by those tribes, and they originally called it Mississippi, that means Big River or Father of Waters. During those times, before the Europeans got here, the river was used as a highway for their bark canoes, basically canoes made by wood, and as a region for them to take fish, which was the mainstay of their diet. People believe that Christopher Columbus may be the first European to view the Mississippi River. Some historical documents show that in 1507, explorers found the river and called it River of Palms, although it may be Mississippi River, but it has never been confirmed. Furthermore, what we know is that Hernando de Soto was the first recorded European to view the river in 1541 in Tennessee. He called it the River of Holy Spirit, and his explorers described it as a flood of great severity and prolonged duration. Because of the grandeur of the river, the region has been disputed many times, especially by the French explorers, who even built a small fort near Louisiana to control passage. And after a few years, the French settled along the river and penetrated the territory of the Natchez Indians. But in 1763, the Treaty of Paris was signed by Great Britain, France, and Spain, and it gave Great Britain rights to all land east the Mississippi, and Spain rights to all land west of the river. It also says, quote, "The navigation of the river Mississippi from its source to the ocean shall forever remain free and open to the subjects of the Great Britain and the citizens of the United States." Unquote. Well, the bark canoes used by Indians became at some point inadequate for the needs of the people's business, so people started building cheap and poorly rafts. Even though they weren't that well developed, they were all the people needed to carry merchandise and to develop the growing valley. Another important innovation was the keelboat, a two-way traveler built for many trips. But what really increased the Mississippi commerce was the invention of the steamboat in the 19th century. It had comfortable accommodations for passengers and could travel upstream as easily as downstream. In 1950, the Congress approved a topographic and hydrographic survey of the Mississippi River and investigations to find out the most practicable plans for flood control and navigation improvements in the mouth of the river. And that investment for sure helped the commerce and the development of the region. The control of the Mississippi River was one of the best tragedies for both sides of the war. Although the Union forces could defeat the Confederates, it was primordial for the final victory of the Union. The river was extremely important for transportation during the Second World War because of the upstream movement of gasoline, oil, sulfur, and other materials to the waterfront. Besides that, nearly 4,000 vessels moved from the river to the sea. As the main river in the country, the Mississippi River is used nowadays for many activities. Agriculture in the Midwest and industry in the East are for sure the main users of the river's resources. In addition, the power of transportation in the river is still important to the commerce, since many packets filled with steel, grain, Petroleum products and chemicals are transported every day up and downstream. Another essential utility is the drinking water provided by the river to millions of citizens and the electricity created by the hydroelectrics placed in the river. And last but not least, the Mississippi River is the cheapest way to travel through the American Southwest. Many organizations have been taking an important look into the Mississippi River watershed because of its importance to the economic and social life in the USA. And conservation has been the main discussed topic, and policies and attitudes have already been done to help the region. First, the main focus has been in nutrient pollution from agriculture runoff and problems related to sediments and toxins. Besides compromising the development of the economy that involves the Mississippi River, these problems can turn into something much bigger: the extinction and devastation of the ecosystem and biodiversity of the region. In that way, one important policy that has been implemented is the regulation related to pesticides in the agriculture and the pollution created by the boats during transportation. Furthermore, the people who live near the river and have their sewage dumped into it must be conscious about their habits and what they can do to preserve the place they live. Well, I hope this video made you more interested in the Mississippi River and helped you realize its importance to the development of the USA during its history and especially nowadays. And everyone who is watching can donate to the organizations that help to conserve the watershed, and the link is down below in the description of this video. So thanks for watching, and I see you next week.